you got too far ahead of yourself at that point?
You know, I didn't question it. I knew it. And I don't think I got too far ahead of myself. I knew they were far ahead of me. And, you know, I'm a very realistic guy. And I had very limited training while I was in the Marine Corps. I mean, I would basically go around the base, and I had a group of guys where, hey, you know, at 1800 every night, you know, our appointed place of duty is in this gym. We're going to train together. And I was the head coach, and I knew nothing. So, you know, that never bodes well for technique. But I'll tell you what, we trained hard, and we believed in each other. And during that time, we all won every fight during a 2-year period. Now, we didn't fight anybody fantastic. We won fights that we weren't supposed to, just based on heart and determination. But I knew that. And at that time, I never expected to be doing this still. I loved MMA. I loved the fact that I was able to do it. I knew I was being exploited for my story, and I just figured, you know, I'm going to keep doing this till it's fun. I had always had a full-time job while I was fighting because I had kids and I wanted to be careful. And, you know, I was just really lucky. You know, I fell in love with the sport, and because of that love, I worked really hard at it. When I got my rude awakening, when I got in the UFC, like so many people do, that's your choice. You know, you could either get cut and go be a hero in a lesser organization, or you can work really, really hard and try and make it. And that's what I was able to do. And to me, I wouldn't have had it any other way, because ultimately I became a more humble and more well-rounded man, which ultimately is way more important to me, because that's better as a father and better as a husband.
Take us on your road to the Naval Academy. What was the decision-making process to get there?
You know, for me in high school and getting ready to go to the Naval Academy, it was interesting. I had a really interesting experience in high school. I've always been a guy who took things serious, and almost too serious. You know, when you're playing sports in high school, it's meant to be fun. For me, it wasn't about that. It was about being the best. And so I had a hard time, you know, through those seasons and every sport I played, taking things so serious. I think it would make things difficult me with my friends. You know, I wasn't about, hey, whose house we going to after this, blah, 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 blah. You know, I was on the sidelines of football games. Hey, you know, pay attention to the game. You shouldn't be talking about where you're going tonight, you know. I was a little too serious. You know, I tried a little too hard then. And so the decision to go to the Naval Academy just made sense to me. I figured I need to go to an environment where people take things real serious. And, you know, it just made sense. It's a full scholarship. The school was great. I went down there. I fell in love with it from the start. And I always felt from my sophomore year in high school on that the military was going to be the route I wanted to go. I didn't see myself doing a desk job when I was young. I couldn't picture myself doing that. Jets and guns and all these other things, the discipline, the training, the cool training trips you're going to go on, that appealed to me. And so when the opportunity came to play football there, it seemed like the right step for me. And I definitely don't regret it, although there's a lot of sacrifices you make when you go to that institution.
You played football there. That was a big thing for you. What was it like?
You know, it was tough. I went in there with a lot of expectations. I was recruited as a quarterback. I dreamed of playing quarterback. Didn't really fit in there with that scheme. I didn't run a triple option scheme. We went through a ton of coaching changes, and we had some really rough seasons, especially my sophomore and junior year. So my football career didn't go as expected, and it ended up being a good thing for me, especially with my mixed martial arts career, because I changed positions so many times in college that I never really got settled in to where I could succeed at any one of them. What I did learn was a lot about leadership and how to identify with different teammates to help them become the best they could be. Even if, you know, the most I could do was play special teams, fill in here or there, help this guy understand the defense better, etc. And my thirst for competition upon leaving the Naval Academy was still very strong. And I think that's why I fell in love with mixed martial arts so quickly.
If it wasn't for mixed martial arts, would you still be a Marine officer?
No.